Hi, so how's everybody doing today? So we are back because I believe that Kia is about to make a huge mistake. So apparently this year they announced that they're gonna stop production of the Stinger. I couldn't be more perplexed as to why. They said the main reason was because it wasn't selling well enough, which, you know, you could have guessed. But then again, I don't know. I feel like it's selling pretty well for what it is. I mean, it's in the 10,000s. Like, I think it peaked at around 16,000 or so. And last year they sold like 12,000 of them or so. And I mean, those aren't huge figures. Like, if a Camry sold that little, then the Camry will probably get canceled. But then again, like, when you look at the cars in this class, like the Audi A4, the Lexus IS, really, is right there. It's not really any lower than those cars. And really, the only car in this class that sells better is the 3 Series, which defines the segment anyway. Like, is it just me or, like, I see Stingers around. You know what I mean? I don't not see them. Like, people buy them. It could just be that they're not profiting off of them. And if that's the case, then, fair enough, cancel it. But I think that the decision to kill it off completely is a little short-sighted, and here's why. Like I said, I feel like the sales numbers are, good enough. I don't think that it's too low or anything. But even if you do, having a halo car is important. And that's what this Stinger is to the Kia brand. Got a lot of people interested into Kias. It definitely made a splash, and people definitely recognize it. And even if they don't know what it is, when they see it, they like it. And it's important to have a halo car because even if somebody goes to the Kia dealer trying to buy a Stinger, but they end up not buying it because it's too expensive, it's like, oh, well, I can't afford the Stinger, but hold on, what you got there? Like K5 GT or a Forte GT? That's like a baby Stinger. I'll take that instead. That's what gets people into the brand. I mean, why do you think Toyota brought back the Supra? It's not because they were expecting it to sell like Camrys, but to outsell the RAV4. It's so they can have a halo car again, then they can get people interested in the brand and get people passionate about their cars. I mean, presumably, they're gonna replace it with the EV6, just like this crossover all-electric SUV thing, because, they said that they're gonna focus on making SUVs, of course, and SUVs are like the worst. Literally ruin everything. But anyway, so presumably this EV6 thing is gonna replace it. It's cool, but in its own right, but it's not the same. I mean, it looks cool, I guess, but it's just a generic all-electric SUV because that's what manufacturers think that the consumers want. And that's what consumers think that they want. That's not a halo car. If they're gonna discontinue this Stinger, the least they can do is bring it back as like an all-electric, Model 3 competitor, Polestar 2 competitor. And I think that would be a hit. Like a mini Model S, especially when it has that hatchback and it has that Stinger styling. I think that would be a hit. But so far, there's no plans on doing so. There's no concept. Really, like they gave this Stinger a refresh in 2021, I want to say. But then they didn't do enough to it. Like it still had, they didn't even put like a digital gauge cluster. The interior's mostly the same, just small exterior changes. And I think that's part of the reason, like if they're gonna complain about sales, they shouldn't have shortcomings like that on the mid-cycle refresh. They should refresh it. You know what I mean? To add, the stuff that people want and the stuff that makes people attracted to the car. It makes people want to buy a new car in the first place. But even then, it's an enthusiast car. And Kia needs the backing of car enthusiasts because car enthusiasts sell cars more than people want to give them credit for. It was bad enough that they killed off the manual transmission option, which, I mean, come on, guys. Of course nobody's gonna buy the manual with the small engine. What do you expect? The type of people that will buy a manual Stinger are enthusiasts. And those people want the big engine. They want the V6 one. They want the Stinger GT. They're not trying to buy the 4-cylinder and then have to tune it up to make it comparable to the 6. Because then, like, that's just more work. And not everybody's willing to void the warranty or even modify the car. I bet if they would have sold the V6 model with the manual, that it would have been a lot more successful. And then they made the same mistake with the sister car, the Genesis G70. But, you know, despite that, no, enthusiasts recognize this car. Like, I went to the auto show and I saw plenty of them. Okay, maybe slight exaggeration, but you know, it was there. You know, that's saying something when you go to a car show with all type of JDM cars, the muscle cars, the exotics, and then like the Stinger is like part of that. You know, that's really saying something. And apparently, according to my friend Nick, who lives in Florida, like, Stingers, they sell like crazy. He be telling me how he sees the truck, the car carrier coming in with a whole lot of Stingers, and then within a week they'll all be gone from the dealership. So maybe they have more of a market in Florida, maybe in warmer areas. I don't know, but I mean, I live in Pennsylvania and I see plenty of them. I mean, they're not like Camrys, but okay, like they're still around. I think that discontinuing it is gonna be a mistake, especially considering, like, as is, like, the resale value on Stingers are crazy. Discontinuing it is just gonna make the value on them go up, and then all the people that have the Stingers and are selling it are gonna make a whole lot of extra money. But you know who's not gonna make that extra money? Kia. I mean, as far as I know, it's official. They're ending production of it. I mean, it would be crazy if they were to just change their mind and decide that they're gonna continue production of it. But I think an electric successor car would be the right move. Maybe call it like the EV5 or the EV GT, or just call it the Stinger. See, slightly off topic, but I think that all these car makers are making a mistake of like naming the electric cars, like giving them separate names. Like even the Mustang Mach-E, it's like, once everything is electric, like what is Mach-E even gonna mean anymore? Like it's just gonna be so short-lived. And then, you know, the EV6, EV7, like once everything's like electric or alternative fuel, like how is calling your car an EV6, like, yeah, it's an EV, how is it any different than everything else? Same goes with like Mercedes with like the EQS, the EQS actually, the EQG. Just silly for me, just name them what they actually are, like, you know what I mean? Like, be more creative. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much my 2 cents on the whole Kia Stinger situation. And hopefully they realize what they're doing before it's too late. See, there's one right there. Wasn't even planning.